What if I told you that everything you've ever experienced, every thought, every emotion, every moment across all of your lifetimes is recorded in a cosmic database that you can access right now? The Akashic Records aren't just some spiritual concept or metaphysical theory. They are the most powerful tool for transformation that your consciousness will ever encounter. And mainstream spirituality has completely misunderstood what they truly are. Those who have genuinely accessed their records don't just gain information, they experience radical healing, awaken dormant abilities, and perceive reality in ways that defy conventional understanding. Many never speak publicly about what they've discovered there. I'm about to reveal what mystery schools and ancient initiates have kept hidden for thousands of years. The true nature of the Akashic Records and why accessing them will forever alter your perception of who you are and what you're capable of becoming. This knowledge has been deliberately obscured, encoded in esoteric texts, and reserved only for those deemed ready to handle its power. Throughout history, those who access these records transform from ordinary humans into seers, healers, and visionaries whose abilities seemed supernatural to those around them. The veil is now lifting. An unprecedented number of souls are being called to access their records during this critical moment in human evolution. If you're watching this video, your higher self has guided you here because you're one of them. But I must warn you, once you truly understand and access the Akashic Records, you cannot return to your former state of awareness. What you'll discover there will fundamentally reshape your understanding of reality itself. If you're ready to take this irreversible step in your spiritual evolution, then join me as we explore the infinite library of your soul's journey. The true nature of the Akashic Records. The term Akasha comes from Sanskrit, meaning ether or primary substance. But this translation barely scratches the surface of its true meaning. The Akashic Records are not merely a collection of information. They are the very fabric of consciousness itself. Many sources will tell you the records are like a cosmic database or a celestial library. While these metaphors help our limited human minds conceptualize what exists beyond our three-dimensional understanding, they ultimately fall short. The Akashic Records are not separate from you. They are not somewhere out there, waiting to be accessed. The profound truth that few teachers will reveal is this: you are the Akashic Records. Every cell of your body, every strand of your DNA, every quantum particle that makes up your existence is connected to this infinite field of consciousness. The records are not just a record of your soul's journey. They are the journey itself, unfolding in infinite directions simultaneously. The ancient Egyptians understood this when they spoke of the Hall of Records. The Gnostics grasped it when they wrote of the Pleroma. The Hermetic axiom, as above, so below, as within, so without, points directly to this truth. The microcosm of your individual consciousness is a perfect reflection of the macrocosm of universal consciousness. When we speak of accessing the records, what we're really describing is shifting your awareness to perceive what is already there, what has always been there. It is not about reaching outward, but about turning inward to the infinite depths of your own being. The records exist in what mystics call the fifth dimension, beyond time and space as we understand them. In this dimension, all possibilities exist simultaneously. Past, present, and future are merely constructs of our three-dimensional perception. In the records, they exist as one eternal now. This is why genuine seers and prophets throughout history have been able to perceive future events. They weren't predicting the future. They were accessing a dimension where all timelines already exist, selecting the most probable one based on current energetic patterns. The guardians and keepers of the records. One aspect of the Akashic Records rarely discussed in depth is the presence of conscious entities that exist within and as part of the records themselves. These beings are variously called the Lords of Records, the Keepers of Akasha, or simply the Guardians. These beings are not separate from the records but are living embodiments of its consciousness. They are not gods to be worshipped but aspects of universal consciousness that help facilitate your connection to the information most relevant to your soul's journey. When you truly access the records, you will encounter these beings. Some appear as radiant light forms. Others may take on appearances familiar to your cultural or religious background. And still others may appear in forms that transcend human description altogether. The important thing to understand is that these guardians serve as interfaces between your human consciousness and the vast, unlimited nature of the records themselves. Without their assistance, the pure information of the Akashic field would overwhelm your human nervous system. The guardians assess your readiness, your intent, and your spiritual maturity. They do not judge you as worthy or unworthy. Such dualistic concepts have no place in higher dimensions. Rather, they ensure you receive information that serves your highest evolution at this moment in your journey. Many who attempt to access the records fail because they approach with ego-driven motives. The desire for power, for control over others, for material gain, or to satisfy mere curiosity. The guardians recognize these vibrations instantly and will show you only what reinforces your current level of understanding. But when you approach with genuine reverence, with the intent to serve your highest purpose and the greater good of all, the guardians will reveal to you truths that transcend your wildest imagination. The relationship you build with these beings is sacred. They are not servants to be commanded, but allies in your evolution. In many ways, they are extensions of your own higher self, bridges between your individual consciousness and the universal mind. The soul's record and karmic patterns. Each soul that has ever incarnated on Earth or anywhere else in the cosmos has its own unique vibrational signature within the Akashic field. This signature contains the complete record of every thought, action, emotion, and experience across all lifetimes. When you access your personal Akashic record, you are not simply viewing a list of past lives or future possibilities. You are experiencing the totality of your soul's journey in all its complexity and beauty. One of the most profound revelations contained within the records is the true nature of karma. Forget what you've been taught about karma as a system of cosmic punishment or reward. This simplistic understanding has been distorted through centuries of religious interpretation. Karma, as revealed in the Akashic Records, is simply the patterns of energy created by consciousness. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every action you take creates ripples in the quantum field. These ripples interact with other ripples, creating the complex tapestry of experiences we call reality. The patterns you see in your current life, recurring relationships, persistent challenges, innate talents and abilities, are not random. They are the manifestation of energetic imprints from your soul's journey across time and space. Many spiritual seekers become obsessed with discovering their past lives, hoping to find glamorous or important historical identities. This is perhaps the most common misuse of Akashic knowledge. The true value in understanding your soul's journey is not in attaching to past identities, but in recognizing the patterns that continue to shape your current experience. When you access your records with proper guidance, you will see these patterns clearly. You'll understand why certain lessons keep appearing in your life. You'll recognize soul contracts with other beings, agreements made between incarnations to help each other evolve through specific experiences. Most importantly, you'll see that you are not bound by these patterns. The records show not only what has been, but all that could be. In seeing the complete pattern, you gain the power to consciously choose which threads to continue weaving and which to release. Methods of accessing the Akashic Records. Now we come to the practical aspects of accessing the records. I must emphasize that what I'm about to share goes far beyond the simplified techniques you'll find in mainstream spiritual literature. True access to the Akashic Records requires more than memorized prayers or visualization techniques. It demands a fundamental shift in consciousness. That said, there are reliable pathways that have been verified by adepts across many traditions. The first and most essential requirement is the purification of your energetic field. The records exist at a vibrational frequency far higher than ordinary human consciousness. To access them, you must temporarily raise your own frequency to match. Begin with your physical vessel. For at least 3 days before attempting to access the records, purify your diet. Eliminate alcohol, recreational drugs, processed foods, and excess sugar. Increase your intake of pure water, fresh fruits and vegetables, and foods with high pranic energy. Next, purify your emotional body. Spend time in meditation, releasing any strong negative emotions or attachments. Practice forgiveness of others and especially of yourself. Emotional baggage creates static in your energetic field that will distort what you perceive in the records. Then, clarify your mental body. Be honest about your intentions for accessing the records. Write them down and examine them carefully. Are they coming from ego or from your higher self? Are you seeking information that serves your spiritual evolution? Or are you looking to satisfy curiosity or gain advantage over others? Once these preparations are complete, choose a time when you will be completely undisturbed for at least an hour. The early morning hours, between 3 and 6 a.m., are ideal, as the veils between dimensions are naturally thinner during this time. Create a sacred space free from electronic interference. Turn off all devices. Their electromagnetic frequencies create noise in subtle energy fields. Light a white or violet candle, as these colors resonate with the frequency of the Akashic field. Now, I will share with you a specific breathing technique that has been used by mystery schools for thousands of years to shift consciousness into the theta-gamma synchrony required to perceive the records. Begin by sitting in a comfortable position with your spine straight. Place your hands palms up on your thighs. with thumb and index finger touching lightly. Inhale deeply through your nose for a count of 6, allowing your abdomen to expand fully. Hold this breath for a count of 3. Exhale slowly through slightly parted lips for a count of 9, completely emptying your lungs. At the end of the exhale, contract your lower abdomen slightly and hold for a count of 3 before beginning the next inhale. Continue this pattern for 108 breaths or until you feel a distinct shift in your awareness, often experienced as a sensation of expansion beyond your physical body. As your consciousness expands, visualize yourself at the entrance to a vast library or temple. This visualization is not the records themselves, but a construct that helps your mind interface with them. Approach the entrance and state your intention clearly, either aloud or in your mind. Address the guardians directly, with humility and respect, asking for access to the specific information you seek. You may then encounter one or more guardian beings. Their appearance will be unique to your own consciousness. Do not be alarmed by whatever forms they take. Remember that they are aspects of universal consciousness, appearing in ways your mind can interpret. The guardians may test your intentions through questions or energy scans. Answer truthfully and without fear. If access is granted, you will be guided to the portion of the records relevant to your question. What happens next varies greatly depending on your individual sensitivity and the specific information you're accessing. Some people receive information as direct knowing, concepts and understandings that simply appear in consciousness. Others experience vivid visual scenes, like watching a movie of past or potential events. Still others receive information through symbols that must be interpreted, or through emotional impressions that convey deep meaning. Trust whatever form the information takes for you. The records communicate in the language most accessible to your unique consciousness. Common experiences and challenges. When first accessing the Akashic Records, many seekers encounter similar experiences and challenges. Understanding these in advance will help you navigate your own journey more effectively. The first and most common challenge is doubt. As you begin to receive information, your analytical mind may intervene, questioning whether what you're experiencing is real or simply your imagination at work. This doubt is natural but can quickly sever your connection to the records. Remember that at the level of the records, the distinction between imagination and reality breaks down. Imagination is not the opposite of truth. It is the faculty through which higher dimensions communicate with human consciousness. Another common experience is emotional overwhelm. Viewing certain past life experiences, particularly traumatic ones, can trigger intense emotional responses. This is why proper preparation is so essential. If you find yourself becoming overwhelmed, gently withdraw your attention and return to focus on your breathing until you feel centered again. Some seekers report encountering what appear to be barriers or veils within the records. Information that seems just out of reach or deliberately obscured. These are not arbitrary restrictions but protective mechanisms. Information is obscured when encountering it would be harmful to your current evolutionary path. Trust that what is hidden will be revealed when you are ready to integrate it. The records operate according to divine timing that may not align with your ego's desires, but always serves your highest good. Many people are surprised to discover that the Akashic Records contain not just information about past events, but detailed blueprints of potential futures. Remember that from the perspective of the records, all time exists simultaneously. What you perceive as the future is simply a probability field shaped by collective and individual consciousness. Perhaps the most challenging aspect of working with the records is integrating the information received back into your daily life. Knowledge from higher dimensions often defies logical explanation. You may struggle to articulate your experiences or to reconcile them with your previous understanding of reality. This integration process is sacred work. Journal about your experiences immediately afterward, before the rational mind begins to filter and distort them. Look for ways to apply the insights received in practical actions. Knowledge without application remains merely intellectual entertainment. Advanced applications of Akashic wisdom. Once you have established a reliable connection to your Akashic records, numerous advanced applications become available. These go far beyond simply satisfying curiosity about past lives or gaining insights into personal challenges. One of the most profound applications is conscious creation. The records contain not just what has been, but all possible variations of what could be. By accessing this field of pure potential, you can consciously select and energize specific probability timelines. This is not manifestation as it's commonly understood. You're not forcing reality to conform to your desires. Rather, you're aligning your individual consciousness with already existing probability fields that resonate with your highest evolution. Another advanced application is healing across time. When you access traumatic experiences from past incarnations, you can direct healing energy to those specific points in your soul's journey. This creates a ripple effect that can transform patterns in your present life that originated in those past experiences. Some adepts use the records for what might be called soul retrieval, reclaiming aspects of your consciousness that became fragmented through traumatic experiences across multiple lifetimes. By locating these fragments within the records and reintegrating them, profound healing and expansion of abilities can occur. The records can also be accessed collectively. When two or more spiritually attuned individuals enter the records together with a unified intention, they can access information relevant to group karma, soul contracts between them, and co-creative potential. This practice, sometimes called Akashic synergy, can accelerate spiritual evolution for all participants. Perhaps the most advanced application is what ancient texts refer to as writing in the records. As your consciousness evolves to higher levels of awareness, you gain the ability not just to read the records, but to consciously participate in their creation. This is not about changing the past. What has occurred remains part of the pattern. Rather, it involves consciously seeding new possibilities into the quantum field, creating ripples that influence the collective evolution of consciousness itself. Few teachers discuss this level of work with the records because it carries profound responsibility. To write in the Akashic field is to participate directly in the evolution of universal consciousness. This ability awakens naturally as the individual consciousness expands to embrace more of its divine nature. The ethics of Akashic knowledge. With great power comes great responsibility. As you develop your ability to access the Akashic records, certain ethical considerations become increasingly important. First and foremost is the question of accessing information about others. The records contain the complete soul journeys of every being that has ever existed. Technically, you could access information about anyone, but should you? The highest ethical standard is this: never access another's records without their explicit permission, except in very specific circumstances. These exceptions include: 1. When you share soul contracts that directly involve you both, and understanding these contracts serves the highest good of all involved. 2. When you are working as a healer or guide and have received permission on a soul level, though getting verbal permission as well is always recommended. 3. When accessing ancestral records that directly impact your own lineage and healing. Even with permission, be extremely careful about what information you share. Not everyone is ready to consciously integrate knowledge of their soul's complete journey. Revealing traumatic past life information to someone who lacks the spiritual maturity to process it can cause more harm than good. Another ethical consideration involves how you use the information received. Knowledge from the record should always be applied in service to the highest good of all beings, never for personal gain at others' expense, manipulation, or ego gratification. Remember that the quality of information you receive is directly proportional to the purity of your intention. If your motives become clouded, your access to the records will reflect this, becoming distorted or limited. There is also the question of sharing Akashic knowledge publicly. Not all information is meant to be broadcast widely. Some revelations are intended specifically for you or for a limited group working together on specific aspects of spiritual evolution. Discernment is essential. Before sharing what you've learned, sit with it in meditation and ask, is sharing this information at this time, in this way, aligned with the highest good? Who is meant to receive this knowledge? The guardians of the records take the ethical use of Akashic knowledge very seriously. Those who repeatedly violate these principles will find their access restricted to more superficial levels of the records. This is not punishment, but protection, both for the individual and for the collective field, living as a bridge between worlds. As you develop your relationship with the Akashic records, you begin to live as a bridge between dimensions of consciousness. You walk between worlds, fully present in physical reality, while maintaining awareness of the infinite patterns that create and sustain it. This is both a profound privilege and a sacred responsibility. You become a translator of sorts, bringing insights from higher dimensions into forms that can be integrated into collective human understanding. The ultimate purpose of accessing the Akashic records is not to escape physical reality or to dwell in memories of past glories. It is to bring the wisdom of the cosmic library into your present moment, allowing it to inform every choice, every relationship, every creative act. In doing so, you participate consciously in the evolution of both individual and collective consciousness. You become what the ancient traditions called an awakened one, a being who has remembered their true nature as both creator and creation, both individual expression and universal awareness. The journey of working with the Akashic records is endless. There is always deeper understanding to be gained, more expanded states of awareness to embody, greater service to offer. What begins as curiosity about past lives can evolve into conscious participation in the creation of new possibilities for all beings. Remember that you are not separate from the records you seek to access. You are a living expression of that infinite field of consciousness, temporarily focused in human form, to experience the miracle of physical existence from a unique perspective. As we conclude this journey together, I invite you to sit for a moment in silence. Allow the information shared to settle into your consciousness. Some of it may challenge your current understanding. Some may resonate as remembrance of what your soul has always known. Take what serves your highest evolution and release the rest. Trust that what seems unclear now will reveal its meaning when you are ready to receive it. If you feel called to begin working with the Akashic Records, return to the practical guidance offered here. Begin with the preparations described, approach with reverence and clear intention, and trust the unique way the records will communicate with your consciousness. May your journey into the cosmic library of your soul reveal the infinite beauty, wisdom, and potential that has always existed within you.